That's at the White House.
In other news, more Israeli provocation ahead of scheduled direct talks with the Palestinians. Israel's foreign minister says settlement activities in occupied Palestinian land should restart in September.
Well, that's when an official 10-month moratorium on settlement building in the West Bank is due to end. This is while even with the moratorium in place, Israel has failed to observe the halt and has initiated several illegal building projects. Avigdor Lieberman says there's no reason why building should not restart after the end of the so-called freeze. This is while the Palestinians have repeatedly threatened to walk away from the talks if Israel announces new settlements when the moratorium ends. The U.S. brokered talks between the Palestinian Authority and Israel are scheduled to begin in early September. Lieberman played down the possibility of reaching a deal within 1 year, saying the disagreements between the two sides run too deep.
The Speaker of Iran's parliament says Washington's main concern is to ensure security for Israel rather than establishing peace in the Middle East. Ali Larijani says the U.S. has been leading efforts to support Israel through brokering the so-called peace talks. Larijani added that Western nations have only been trying to ensure Israel's security, sometimes through wars and sometimes through peaceful efforts. Talks between the Palestinian Authority and Israel stopped in December 2008 after Israel launched a deadly attack on the Gaza Strip.
Meanwhile, Palestinian factions, academics and intellectuals in the Gaza Strip are calling on the West Bank leaders not to resume direct talks with Israel. Press TV's Ashraf Shannon has more.
The National Palestinian Conference announced its refusal to the start of direct negotiations between the government of acting Palestinian Authority Chief Mahmoud Abbas and Israel. The attendees comprised representatives from various Palestinian factions, dozens of civil society organizations, and academics called on the PA not to enter such negotiations.
We condemn the Palestinian Authority's decision to resume negotiations. The PA is caving into the U.S. and Israeli pressures.
We attended the conference to defend Palestinian rights and to reject the illicit talks.
The conference also called for the restructuring of the Palestine Liberation Organization and for the end of factional dispute in the long-term interest of the Palestinians. Hamas, which dismissed the direct talks as a U.S. attempt to fool the Palestinian people, welcomed the conference.
We appreciate any effort that may help defend Palestinian rights, such as this conference, which censures direct talks with Israel.
Israel Prime Minister Mahmoud Abbas had been invited to Washington on the 2nd of September to start the talks after a 20-month hiatus. But experts say prospects of a comprehensive deal are slim, as serious disagreements exist on the core issues. Sensitive areas including the construction of settlements on occupied territory, the status of East Jerusalem or Quds, the borders of a future Palestinian state, and the right of return will be difficult to overcome.
I think this conference is one positive step in the right direction, but it requires more radical steps. It also requires the other organizations that have membership on the Politburo of the PLO to reconsider their membership in the PLO and reconsider national unity with other organizations that are outside of the PLO.
Meanwhile, a similar conference that was supposed to take place in the West Bank town of Ramallah was banned by PA security forces. The Gaza Conference called for an alternative Palestinian strategy that is based on the principle of resistance and for the PLO's central tenets to be revised. Ashraf Shannon, Press TV Gaza.